Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to do this beautiful stitch. Now do not, please don't think I am never going to be able to do that. You are. You will be able to do this stitch. It looks complicated but it's not. It's a 2-row repeat. It's just 2 rows repeated, and if you can do a fan, you're going to be able to do this stitch. It's called the Catherine wheel because it kind of spins around once you've done the 2 rows of the pattern. The first row is full fans like this. Most people have done a fan in a blanket. The second row, you build your wheel in here, in this valley part, just doing a treble crochet in each of the stitches. I'll show you how to do it. Give it a try. Give it a try with a small sample and see how you like it. Now this is just some scrap blue yarn. A lot of people, when they do this blanket, they'll do it in different, each pattern they'll do it in a different colour. They'll maybe do lemon and brown, or they'll do pink and grey, or they'll do white, maybe black, or whatever. I like this done in one solid colour. The pattern is beautiful. The texture is beautiful as well. The other side of the blanket is a reverse side. There really is only one pattern side. Now I'm going to do the little sample in a pink. I'm going to use this Red Heart Lisa pink yarn. You can use any yarn. You can use chunky, you can use double knitting. It's up to you. You can use 3-ply. You can use whatever yarn that you want to use. I'm going to try this crochet hook. I got this sent to me by a lady called Karen. This is a Clover brand. I usually use the flat Knit Pro. She sent me this. She sent me a couple of other ones as well. But look at this. This is a flat crochet hook and it's by Clover. This is a 4mm, a UK 4mm crochet hook. I've never tried the Clover brand, so this is a crochet hook that I'm going to be using. If you're interested in these, once I give it a little go and we'll see how it is, I'll put a link in under the video for Amazon and you can go and have a look at these Clover crochet hooks. Now it's got a G on it and I know that's an American size G, and it's a UK 4mm crochet hook, and that's what this yarn says. You have to use a 4 or a 4.5 for this double knitting Red Heart Lisa, and that's what I'm going to show you, this pattern, and you'll see it in a different colour. Look at that. It's a beautiful pattern. Now don't discount it. Don't just think, oh my gosh, I am never going to be able to do that. You will if you follow the video. Get yourself your yarn, your hook, and work along at the same time. So I'm going to use this Clover crochet hook and see how it is. It says it's a soft touch crochet hook. It's aluminium and ABS resin, and let's give this a try. It kind of feels a little bit, it's got some nice, it's not as soft as the Knit Pro one. The Knit Pro one is really soft here on this part. It's just about the same width. I like the gold. It's really smooth. The hook is really smooth. There's a nice little silicone part there as well. That's nice and soft. It's really light as well, but we'll give it a go and we'll see how it is. A lot of people have been messaging me telling me that these are really good. So your stitch count for this blanket is 8. I'm going to do a slip knot, and I'm going to do my chain in sets of 8. So you need 8 stitches for each of those Catherine wheel patterns. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Don't do your chain too loose on this stitch. I know most of the time I tell you don't do it too tight. Well, on this one, don't do it too loose, because we're going to be skipping stitches and putting a big fan of 9 treble crochets. That's USA double crochets if you're in the USA, but if you're in the UK, it's treble crochets that we're going to be using. And when you put that 9 in, you don't want the bottom of your blanket to be too wide. And 8. So I'm going to do my sample chain. Then I'm going to put an extra 2 stitches in. 1 and 2. Now that's my little sample chain done. Look how pretty that is. That hook has made that really nice and even. A lot of the time my chains are quite lumpy bumpy sometimes. It's really smooth to work with. I quite like it so far. So what you're going to do next is you're going to go into the second chain in your foundation, into the second stitch. So count 1 and 2. You're going to do a UK double crochet. If you're in the USA, this is a single crochet for you. So into that second stitch and do your double crochet. You're going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2 and 3. Now into the fourth stitch, so you're skipping 3, 1, 2, 3. Into the fourth stitch we're going to put 9 UK treble crochets, and I did say 9. Now this blanket will grow really quickly because we're doing nice big fans in it. So yarn over and into that fourth stitch, do 9 treble crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. And because you put such a big fan in, make sure when you skip your next 3, you're counting that stitch that's right in there. So skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and then do a UK double crochet. Skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and in the fourth stitch do that fan again. Do that large fan of 9 treble crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, all into the same stitch, 4, 5, 6, into the same stitch, 7, 8 and 9. And again be careful because that next stitch disappears. If you do your chain and you run out of stitches, it could be because you're not counting that stitch that disappears inside there. So skip 3, 1, 2 and 3 and do a double crochet. and you're going to do that all the way along. Skip 3, 1, 2, 3 and make a fan, then skip 3, 1, 2, 3 and do a double crochet. Skip 3, 1, 2, 3 and do a fan, skip 3 and do your last double crochet in your last stitch at the end. So I've got 4 stitches left. I'm going to skip 3, 1, 2 and 3, and into that last stitch I'm going to do a double crochet. Now if you find that you don't have enough, use your tail and just make a few extra stitches, or pull the stitches out to your last double crochet. Like I said, it is a big fan and sometimes you can lose a stitch down inside there. And so this is what we have, and that's row 1 finished. Now if you want to do this multicolour, this is where you'll change your colour. You can just start on a new colour to do this next row, but I think this stitch is so pretty, all done in the one colour. The texture is beautiful. So what we're going to do now is we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3 and turn your work around. So what we're going to do now around this fan is we're going to go into the first 4 stitches of it, but we're going to keep them on the hook. We're going to do a UK treble crochet. If you're in the USA, these are double crochets for you. So yarn over and go into the first stitch in the fan. Now keep that stitch on the hook. We need 5 altogether. That one counts as your first one. That chains your first one. So that's 1, that's 2, yarn over and into the next stitch. That's 3, yarn over and into the next stitch. That's 4, yarn over and into the next stitch. That's 5. So you're going to yarn over and come through all of those stitches. Then you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now into the next stitch you're going to do a double crochet, and that should be the top of your fan. You're going to do a double crochet, a UK double crochet. Then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to build an upside down fan. We're going to go down this side of the fan and come up this side of the fan. So into the next stitch you're going to do a treble crochet and keep it on the stitch. Keep that there. Then do the next one. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, 4, into the double crochet down the bottom, pull your stitch up, that's 5, into the next one, 6, into the next one, 7, into the next one, that's 8, into the next one, and that's 9. So you should actually have 10 stitches on your hook because you had that one to begin with. I've got, this is where your shaft of your hook, it's a little small for this pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. You've got 10 loops on your hook. Put your yarn over and pull through all of those loops. And you're going to chain 3. 1, 2 and 3. So you've made a fan that's upside down. So your little fan is upside down. Now into the top of this fan here you're going to put a double crochet. And this is what your little blanket looks like. It's a pattern on that side. So you're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. And you're going to do the same again. We're going to pick up 9 stitches down and down, include that one that's down in that double crochet. So it's 4 down that way, the double crochet, and 4 up that way. That makes 9. And the hook and the stitch that's on your hook will make that 10th stitch. So keep that on your hook, yarn over and go into the next stitch. That's 1. So we're going to pick up 9 stitches along here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now your next one's that double crochet down in between those two fans. 5. Now work up the top here. You're picking up, you'll have 4 stitches to pick up here. So we're at 5, 6, 7, 8, and one more makes 9. So that's 9 stitches, but we've got 10 loops, because remember we had that 1 to begin with. Yarn over and pull through all of those loops. If you can't get through all of them, just come through a few at a time. If you can't get through all of them at once, right through there. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to double crochet into the next stitch, so that's the top of that fan. Put a double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and you're going to work down and pick up 9 stitches down this side of that fan into that double crochet in the middle, and then 4 stitches up here. That's 9 altogether. You'll have 10 loops because you've got that 1 loop already, but we're going to pick up 9 stitches. So into the next stitch, put your treble crochet. That's 1. The next one, that's 2. The next one, that's 3. The next one is 4. The next one is that double crochet in the middle. That's 5. The next one, 6. The next one, 7. Then 8, and then 9. So that's 9 stitches, but you should have 10 loops, remember, with that first one. So yarn over and pull through all of those loops. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then into the next stitch you're going to put a double crochet. Remember, you've got a stitch in there, so go into the next stitch at the top of the fan and put a double crochet in. Now you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you should have 4 stitches left in the fan, plus that double crochet makes 5, and that's what we're going to pick up this time. So we've got that loop on there already. So yarn over and into the next stitch. That's 1. We should have 5. That's 2. Into the next stitch. That's 3. Into that next stitch. That's 4, and then into that double crochet. That makes 5. And through that stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 stitches and the 1 loop we already had. So yarn over and come through all of those and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn your work. And there you go, look at that. You've got your first half of your Catherine wheel done. It's really pretty in the pink. So what we're going to do now is into that hole that you can see that's gathered those stitches up, into that eye of that hole, we're going to put 4 treble crochets, all just single treble crochets. So yarn over and just crochet as you normally would. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now your chain of 3 makes the 5th one. If you want, you can take a stitch marker and put it into the top of that chain of 3. Put it into the top of the chain of 3, because when we come back the way, that's where you're going to go into to finish. So what you're going to do now is you're going to go over to that double crochet and put a double crochet into the top of it, just like that. And now into the eye of this, see this cluster that we did? That's that big cluster of 9, into that big holy stitch there, in there, you're going to put 9 treble crochets. So we're not doing a chain of 3 this time. So put 9 treble crochets, that's 1, all into that same space, that little hole that made up that big cluster. So that's 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now you're going straight over to your double crochet, and you're going to put a double crochet into there. Then go straight over to the eye of that cluster. That's that stitch that's holding all that cluster together, and put your fan in, and that's what you'll do all the way along. So into there you're going to build a fan. That tapping noise is just my marker. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of irritating, isn't it? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now if you want, you can get your yarn and your hook and you can crochet along, and that way you'll be able to follow this. And give it a try, because it is easy once you get the hang of it. So you're going to double crochet into that double crochet, and then move to that little eye. So skip that chain. You're not going into that space, you're going into the one that's holding that big fan together. Into there you're going to put 9 treble crochets. I'm going to hold it up a bit so it doesn't make a noise. It's not making any difference. That's 6, 7, 8, and 9. Make sure you've got 9. Every now and then just count them to make sure you've got 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to put a double crochet into that double crochet to hold that fan down. Then into the little eye, can you see the little eye that's here? We're going to put 5 treble crochets. Now remember, at the beginning we had the chain of 3 which counted as your first treble crochet, and then we put 4 in. But when you're at the end here, so there's your chain of 3, there's your chain, so into that stitch you're going to put 5 treble crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now to finish this blanket off, I would put a fan in here down the side when you're finishing off your blanket. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Now into the very first stitch, you're going to do a double crochet. So I've done my double crochet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another marker here, just so you know that's where we're going to go into on the next row. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then down here we're going to pick up our 9 stitches again. So yarn over and into the next stitch and keep it on the hook. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, down into the double crochet for number 5. Now keep your stitches quite light and loose. Into the next one, that's 6. Into the next one, 7, then 8, and one more will make 9. That's 9. So we're going to yarn over and come through all of those loops, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and into the next stitch do a double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to pick up your 9 again, chain 3, do a double crochet, chain 3, and pick up 9, chain 3, do a double crochet, chain 3, and then pick up your next 9. You'll chain 3 and do a double crochet into that last stitch. So I'm going to work my way along here and do all my collections of 9 stitches, chain 3, do a double crochet into the top of the fan, chain 3, and then pick up 9 stitches again all the way along to the end. Double crochet for number 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Find number 9, yarn over, pull through all of those, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to do a double crochet into the top of that chain of 3 in there where your marker is. I'm going to pull that out and do a double crochet on the end. So we've finished row 4. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and into that first stitch down there I'm going to do a double crochet. Now you can put your stitch marker back in, so you know that's your double crochet and that's where you're going to go in the next round. We're going over to the eye of this fan, the upside down one. Now remember when we done the upside down one here, we built a new one in there. So that's what we're going to do. So for row 5 we're going to do 9 treble crochets in to that, the eye of that fan there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. We're going over to the double crochet and we're going to do a double crochet in there, no chain, just a double crochet. Then you're going in to the eye of that upside down fan and put another fan of 9. You'll double crochet into the double crochet, you'll go straight over in to that upside down fan and put a fan of 9 in, and then double crochet into the next stitch. You're not going to do any chains on this row all the way to the end. You'll put 9 treble crochets into that last space there, the eye of that fan, and you'll do a double crochet into here, and then you'll go back to row 2 and you'll repeat row 2. So you'll repeat rows 2 to 5. So that's row 2, 3, 4 and 5. I'll get you that nice big pattern. So over to the eye of the next one and put your fan in. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now over to the double crochet, just skip the chains of 3 and put a double crochet into there, and skip over into the little eye of that cluster and put your next, not the space, you're going into that little space there, that little eye of that pattern, and do your 9 treble crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just moving that up, it's just keeping that from rattling. That's 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Skip the chains of 3 and do a double crochet into that double crochet, and go over to your last upside down fan and you're going to put a fan in there. 9 UK treble crochets all into the same stitch, and if you're in the USA, that's a double crochet for you, 9 of them. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Go over to where your stitch marker is and put a double crochet in to there. Take your stitch marker out. So we've got row 5 done. Now what you're going to do is you're going to rewind the video back to row 2. Repeat row 2, row 3, row 4 and row 5 on this pattern. It does seem like a big pattern, but it does grow really fast, and the reason it is so big is because you've got these circles and then the ones that fit in the space here, and then you'll have your circles and the ones that fit in to these spaces. It really is a pretty blanket. So the way to finish this blanket is I would finish it on this fan shape. This fan, my little end's curled in, but once you dampen that and pin it down, it will stay down like that. Down the sides of the blanket, it is quite straight down the sides of the blanket. But I would start with a double crochet and then I would put a fan in, then a double crochet and put a fan in down the sides of the blanket. You can put your fans running along the bottom if you want as well. Just remember, don't do that bottom chain, your foundation chain, too slack. If you do it too slack, it's going to go really wide. So do your foundation chain quite tight and you'll get this really neat little blanket. And then rewind the video back to row 2 and that's what you repeat again and again. Row 2, row 3, row 4 and row 5. And this hook's really nice. It's really nice. The thing is, when you're doing a pattern like this, I would have liked that shaft just to be that tiny little bit longer. But how often do you do a pattern where you're picking up 9 stitches? Not very often at all. But all over, my hand doesn't hurt. And I've been doing all of that. My hand doesn't hurt at all. And it's comfortable. It's quite small. Doesn't poke right out the end. It's really... Karen, thank you so much for sending this. I really like it, I really do, and I will try the other ones that you've got, but maybe you can answer it. I'll have a look myself. The clover hooks, are the other sizes flat? Some of the other hooks you sent me were round, but I need to go and have a little look and see if they've got any more that are flat. I do like the Knit Pro because they're flat as well. These are very similar, except the handle is more sort of a resin, like a resiny plastic, where the Knit Pro one is all that silicone, that soft silicone. And so far it's been great. It's been great so far. And I'll leave a link anyway if you want to go and look. You don't need to, but I'll leave a link for Amazon down underneath the video. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and if you want you can click on the bell icon and YouTube will tell you when I put up another tutorial, and it is free to subscribe to the channel. There's also a little button there if you want to help to support this channel. You can click, there's a button that's called join, and you can pay a small monthly subscription if you want, and that money helps. Or do it just for 1 month, or you can just let it run. It's up to you. Every little bit helps. This is my full-time job. There's different amounts that you can click on, and it's YouTube that collects it, and then at the end of every month then I'll get that money and I can use it for my channel for doing upgrades and things like that. And after this video I am going to do a craft room tour. I'm going to show you my equipment that I use, like my camera, my microphone that's up there, my screen. Watching all these little young gamers with their 2 screens, and I'm like, how have they got that? How can they work on that screen and still do stuff on that other screen? How do they work that out? So, and it's been great. It's a great help. So until the next time, happy crafting, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.